everybody. Hey, it's FishPod Network, and the regular podcast is back. It's been a while. I know. We've had just all kinds of craziness going on. We finally got the trailer going, overcoming all these obstacles with our internet and this, that, and the other. We're finally getting things together in a cohesive state here, so hopefully we won't see many more problems. The podcast is back, though. I'm going to start doing a bunch of interviews, a bunch of fun stuff. Also, the game show is going to be new and improved. I'm actually going out of town this week, so I won't be on FishPod TV this week. And the guys are doing a tournament here I'll talk about in just a second this weekend. So I won't be there for that because I'm going. My daughter graduated high school this Thursday, so made it. I will be out. So, hey, do me a favor, guys. This Thursday, 8 o'clock, FishPod TV. Mess with Paul. Hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you're on a PC, laptop, whatever, you can post pictures and things. So if you have any embarrassing pictures of Paul that maybe you could add to our stream that night, it'd be great. And I'm going to try and call him, maybe mess with him a little bit. We're going to have a fun time, though. It'll be a good time. They are going to Downtown Showdown KDW. That's the name of it. It took me a second there. But that's over on the East Coast, man. They're doing, I think that one's mahi and kingfish and cobia, all kinds of species. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. They're going to have everything on a jumbotron there and a whole car show, all kinds of stuff going on there. So I'm sure they'll get some great video. Again, I won't be there, but I'll try and call in when I can, and I'll be watching. So watch out for that. The podcast itself, though, this podcast, the regular FishPod Network, will be back, though, in full force. I'm trying to get some really cool stuff going on, and we're going to be doing some stuff live here soon, too. We're going to do a storyteller show, along with the game show is going to be new and improved, like I said, so look out for that. Well, I just hung out with Paul and Hance Clay in the studio here for a little bit. We were at the Wild West Leg 2, hanging out, waiting for everything to go down. And I think it was at the captain's meeting, and we were just hanging out. We were there a little early, so we went ahead and did a podcast. I'm going to be doing more when I get back into town, so look out for that. You can find all these podcasts in audio form on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. So make sure you check out all that. Give us a like and a subscribe. And without further ado, here is Paul Fleming and Hance Clay on FishPod Network. Just press record, dude. Because that's how we roll. We don't do
We roll,
stuff.
just rolling.
You just rolling?
So, like I was telling you, Hance, me and Paul here. We just did a podcast the other day. Did the whole thing. It was a great podcast.
It was a really good podcast.
It was really good.
It was
we
really
covered
good.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Lost it all the nether. He had messed with the program earlier. Didn't have the microphone attached to the scene. We lost it all. So we're going to do-over.
That was no bueno.
Remember do-over?
Do-over. I remember do-over.
A redo.
Do-over. Car. Everybody on the street. So anyways, what I started off the whole thing talking about with him yesterday was, my plans for this year. And you know how, and I'm sure you're getting to that point too, as a fisherman, you go through stages. What's this?
I turned my phone on.
I'm sorry, that's my bad. This is a computer. I'm not used to having to turn it down. Yeah. But you go through phases. First you just want to learn how to catch fish. You want to catch a bunch of fish. Then you want to catch a big fish. Then you want to catch them the way you want to catch them. So I'm kind of at that point now. But I because we do so much land fishing, and kayaks and canoes and everything, I want to start filming a series of us going out and doing the fishing from the island and different places like that, and really get out there and just try really hard to get some really big fish and get some cool stuff. You know what I mean? Because it takes some doing to get that stuff from land. And,
sure.
And it is the adventure part of it too.
Well, the staying up all night shark fishing.
Yeah.
On the beach.
Well, and just camping in general, and just getting, and it's the challenge of getting everything out there, overcoming the obstacles that, and nature
bugs.
Throws all that stuff at you. Yeah. Oh my
Lightning.
God, the bugs, especially on the island, man. Some of those mosquitoes will fly off with a small horse, like a baby horse, just go flying by. You'd be like, "Dang, that was a big old."
Did you see
fly,
that one social media picture? It said the close-up of the Florida no-see-um, and somebody took a hummingbird and put an alligator head on it.
That's funny.
All right, man.
magnified 10,000 times.
Yeah,
Florida no-see-um.
that's about the way it is too.
Exactly.
There's no getting around. That's about the way it is.
Yeah. So that's kind of like going to be a goal for mine to really get out of get outside of the box and get into some hard to reach areas, because you know how we like to get out there and get to those new areas where you might see some people out there, but those are going to be the people that had to work to get there too, and they get it. You know what I mean?
Those are the fun spots.
Yeah, that's why That's why we always go that extra mile, to get to where we usually go, is because you're going to see less people. And then, except for me, I went fishing yesterday, and like I said, I was telling you guys earlier about the mullet guys or whatever, whatever. But then, the bite was good in the morning. From like the time I got there until 10 o'clock, and then almost exactly at 10 o'clock, it just turned off. Not a lizard fish, not a puffer fish, nothing. Huh? It just shut off. So I'm like, all right, forget this. I'm leaving this mess, and I go back out to the channel. I figure, sun's out, guns out, take off the shirt, get a little tan going, I was out there looking svelte. Not really good. Anyway, so I can hear him coming, man. He's coming from where I just came from, half hour ago. I got a line out, and you just hear him. Here he comes, man. He comes flying around the corner. He's got some lady just hanging on the back, like, oh my God. You could see the terror in her eyes. She's scared. And he's like, I don't know if he was doing it to show off for her or what the deal was, but he's literally 5 feet off the beach. He's 5 feet in front of me. I got a line out. Now, I'm not the type of guy to throw a lead weight or anything like that at somebody, because somebody could get really hurt. But it would not have hurt my feelings at all if this guy ran across my line and then that hook just came up right there. You know what I mean? At 80 miles an hour, I might leave a mark.
Yeah, that might, just a little bit.
The best one was the guy that came around the corner when the channel was open.
Oh, that was the best, dude.
And, where it used to be open on the north side of Shell Key.
Now, remember, when he's telling this story, this is a no-wake zone.
No wake zone.
Okay, you're not supposed to go fast at all.
And you can hardly get through there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This guy comes around on his jet ski, all Billy badass, turns the corner, guns it as he takes the corner, hits the sandbar, and goes about 30 yards over the thing. And Jay and I are standing maybe, 20 yards away.
We were sitting in the little bivouac thing, so he didn't know we were there.
Yeah.
We had the mosquito netting over us, so we didn't get eaten up. This is in the morning, right? So we've been there all night. And he comes through, and what it used to be that you could go through there, but you still had to be really careful. It was a tight little.
You got to kind of know your tides too.
Right there past the grill.
Yeah, I know right where it's at. Yeah.
So man, he come around. I was watching, man. I saw him. He like guns it, and he comes around and he just hit it. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put it on it right now." Boom.
Over the handlebars.
Over the handlebars, front somersault, hits the sand, splat.
Yeah.
Gets up. Kind of looks around, still doesn't see us.
Doesn't know that we're watching this whole thing.
Kind of shakes himself off and kind of goes over to the jet ski and goes like this. It's not moving.
It's not going nowhere. We watched him for a good half hour trying to push this thing out.
That's funny.
He was so far up, he had to wait for the time. So anyways, this guy comes ripping around the corner, 5 feet in front of me. Luckily, doesn't hit my line. I'm like, I wasn't catching anything anyway, so I'm like, whatever. He goes all the way down the beach, 5 feet from the beach. And there's people, how people line up there in the pass?
Yeah.
Goes up one side, boy. I'm like, this dude's doing this on purpose. And what I go, he's going to come down the other side. Watch this. Does. He crosses right over and then goes to the DeSoto side. And then just off into the distance.
He's lucky he didn't hit one of those little sand mounds that stick out.
No, he's lucky nobody's a jerk and hit him with a lead weight, because there are a lot of people that get mad about that.
Oh, yeah. And I've seen things from lead weights to golf balls that they've used to.
Yeah, I've seen people get really hurt by that stuff.
I don't know anybody who's ever done that. I don't.
Fishing spot's not worth it, man.
Yeah.
Well, that spot's going to hell now.
Oh man, yeah. With all the development out there, it's too bad, man. I've been coming to that place my whole life, man.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid, and now technically you can't really call it an island anymore.
No,
because it connects down there at that side now.
So now it's more of a peninsula.
Yeah. So they built a walkway down for all those condos there, and
so that means they're not going to dredge it out.
Yeah, and there's just going to be people everywhere out there. It's already pretty crowded.
Well,
out there.
look how much garbage we pick up there when it was just the people that came on their boats on a weekend.
Garbage floats around everywhere. It's not just from those people there. Actually, those are probably some of the cleaner people out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, those people that live out there aren't generally the ones that are leaving all the garbage everywhere.
Yeah.
But that garbage, you can go anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where you are, and garbage will float up on that beach. So
yeah.
Whatever. I mean, just look at the Skyway. Whew.
Oh, my God.
You ever gone up to the Skyway North Pier and look at that side?
Oh, yeah. It's horrible.
It's blanketed with garbage at all times.
Yeah, it's horrible.
That's crazy.
Stuff like that just annoys me.
Well, we were out there fishing. I took a big black garbage bag, and I walked how far? 50 yards?
Yeah.
It was filled.
Yeah.
Filled.
Wow.
The FWC guy was watching me. Came up, and he's like, hey, man, thanks. I'm like, I didn't get far.
Yeah, well, there's beach cleanups and everything. And what's terrible about it is they do those beach cleanups, and then 2 months later, it's just destroyed again.
It's
Like
destroyed.
Gandy, they do a cleanup on Gandy once a month almost, and you
Right.
still find so much garbage.
Yeah, and
out
you know
there.
you could fill dumpsters full. Just
easily,
dumpsters full.
and just keep going and going and going and
Yeah.
going over and over. It's that you know, I got some shoes to add to our flip flop collection.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
a nice pair of Nikes. Somebody left
Really?
there.
Wow.
We have a collection going of flip flops from the island and out
Yeah.
there. We got tons.
You like hang them up on the wall.
No, we
Well,
want to
we're
make a
gonna
big
make an art
mobile.
piece.
Big
Yeah.
mobile.
That's funny.
One of these days, we're going to make something cool out of it. So anyways, while I was out there, too, I don't have the video to pull up right now, but you guys saw it.
Yeah.
I'm out there floating along, and I got my foot dangling in the water as I'm doing something in the kayak, and you see me move my foot really quick, and that it looks a way farther away in the video than I remember it. I thought it was about 2 inches from my toes, but
Yeah. It looks a little further than
it was
2
a couple
inches.
feet, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, he shot away as soon as he saw
What
me.
kind,
move
what
my-
kind of shark was it?
I'm not really sure, man. I'm looking in the video. It's probably about a 4-foot shark. You know,
Yeah.
not-
It's got significant size. You can
It's-
even see it in the murky water. So
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
got some beef to it.
It's got some beef to
It
it.
was enough to where I was like, oh shit.
I had that huge hammerhead come by me, and I was in my 16-foot canoe, and it was all of 8 feet,
Yeah.
and I was in maybe 5 feet of water,
Yeah.
and it came right across. I was cutting up chunk mullet on the side.
Yeah.
You got scared and moved.
I
too,
did.
you big baby.
I did. You damn right I did.
Hammerheads are nothing to play with. Actually, the podcast that we were talking about, we actually talked about this giant hammerhead that we had hooked into on the East Coast, and no BS, that hammerhead had to be 20-something, 23, 24 feet long.
That's
Just
insane.
it's
to me, man.
huge. I mean,
that's a monster. That's what that.
Yeah.
That's not even a shark
no,
anymore. That's
no,
just
that's
a
a
monster.
I mean, I would have to say his hammer, eyeball to eyeball, was probably 4 feet.
Those things are so crazy
It's
looking
it
anyway,
was
though.
huge,
Right?
Yeah.
Those things are so nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend wanted to take all kinds of pictures with it and everything else. I mean, the thing drug us off. We actually saw it in the morning. We were kingfishing, and we seen this thing crashing on bait and everything else. I thought it was a kingfish that was skying. It was kind of just out of the visual range, you know. And we got right up on the beach. I mean, this thing was 500 yards off the beach. And we pitched a bait out, and I mean, that bait didn't hit the water 5 seconds. We were on. It drug us almost a mile offshore, and then it drug us back inshore. It's like
Very considerate of him.
yeah, it was. It was nice. But I mean, it was like three and a half hour fight. And
Is that the biggest thing you've ever fought out there?
Yeah.
You think? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've been part of doing some marlin fishing and stuff like that. So, yeah. I mean, we've
In your
seen-
boat, anyway. Is
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a big boat, a big
I
fish.
don't know how long I would have stayed attached to that. That would.
Well, we didn't know. We didn't know what it was,
Right.
Because it hit and it ran offshore, and we just got to follow this thing around for 3.5 hours, and we kept passing the rod off because we were all getting tired and everything else. And I'm sitting on the bow pulpit just relaxing, and I look down and I look at my buddy Jay, and I'm going, "Hey, Jay," I said, "I got a tail over here." He goes, "Yeah, I got the head over here." And again, we were in a 28-foot boat, so
Wow.
That's insane.
that's a little unnerving, is all I can say.
Yeah.
Well, what gets me is around here, everybody running, jumping in, into the water.
Yeah.
And we've caught bull sharks right
Yeah.
offshore.
Yeah.
Hammerheads right offshore.
It's really creepy though when you're that close to them in a kayak or a canoe, and like especially in the kayak when those sit on tops. I remember coming through Paso Grill Pass one time. Andy was in front of me, and we're paddling along. He goes, "Look to your right," and I look, and we were kind of catching up with it. That thing, it was a 14-foot kayak, and that thing had to have been close to 11 feet.
Yeah.
It was in it, and you could just see it kind of looking up at you, and then sinks down into the dark. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, and it was right as the sun's going down.
Of course it
and
was.
now anytime I'm out there at night, we've gone out
Yeah.
there, and we're paddling up to that little cove part. I always think about that. I'm like, there's monsters out here.
Yes, there is.
What's funny, man, is you'll paddle that same stretch of water during the day, and
Nothing.
you're totally fine. You don't worry about anything.
Yeah.
Let it get
After
dark.
after an encounter like that, yeah.
After dark, then it's a totally different animal.
Yeah.
Those same waters that you're in all the time, you go swimming in. I go swimming
Yeah.
in the same spot all day long, and then at night I'm like, oh God, they're out there.
How many times do we run right off the flat and then jump into that big deep hole
Yeah,
back there
yeah.
behind Shell Key and swim down as
And
far
then
as you
an
can?
hour
come up,
later,
and then
you
an hour
have
la-
something on the other
Right.
end of your line that just
Right.
rips off everything you know is a shark.
Yeah.
But we seen that one thrashing around at about 2 foot of water. That thing was probably a 7-foot shark.
Yeah.
You ever see that? You ever seen that shallow?
Oh yeah,
crazy.
they get up in there.
Yeah,
all,
that's nuts to me. That
Oh.
big of a shark that would come that shallow. I
Oh,
mean,
we've
chasing
had-
redfish around.
Yeah, we've had a 7-8 foot bull shark split the kayaks while we were out there fishing in the flats. I mean, and you're fishing in no more than 1.5 2 foot of water.
Yeah, so half of its back sticking out of the
Yeah.
water almost.
Yep.
That's insane.
Oh, it's like a
man.
bogus bay. I see all those people out there swimming right there off the shore and on their paddle boards and everything. And
Yeah.
well,
Well, I
sharks
mean-
all over the place.
Well,
And
and you gotta realize that big 20-something foot hammerhead was thrashing on bait 500 feet off the beach of one of the largest hotels in Hallandale Beach. It was literally right off the Diplomat Hotel in Hollywood Beach or Hallandale Beach. I mean, that afternoon while we were still fighting it, I mean, the beach was hundreds of people out
Oh,
there
yeah.
swimming.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what's funny about it too is a lot of people and tourists don't understand what they're swimming around sometimes. So you know you're generally safe, but then those big things of bait will come through sometimes.
Right.
You see them, look at all the bait, and the bait's going all around. I'm like, get out of the bait, man! What
Yeah.
are you doing? Get out of there!
We've literally been surfing.
Look at all the
Sebastian
pretty
Inlet,
fishes.
Yeah.
And we'll be sitting out on the lineup, and you'll see the big bait ball come, and everybody paddles in. And then everybody
back
comes
in.
right in, paddles back out.
Yeah.
The bait ball comes back around, and everybody comes out.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
goes back in.
Just don't
Well, I used
increase
to remember
your
doing.
chances.
You used to remember swimming around the bait ball surfing on the East Coast.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
surfing on the East Coast. Yeah, it just
I remember paddling out to Monster Hole the first time on the south side of Sebastian Inlet,
yeah.
and
I've never surfed Sebastian.
yeah, it's.
I've always done Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. We used to go down to Spanish House a little bit north of it.
Yeah.
It's a better break. Not as many people, but just to say, hey, I surfed
Right.
Sebastian Inlet or Monster Hole. But the paddle out to Monster Hole is about 500 yards.
So that's about where everybody gets bit too.
And-
Whenever there's a
yeah,
shark attack,
yeah.
it's
It's right
always
there.
right
It's
there.
always
or
right
Cocoa.
there. Yeah, or Wabasso.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit south.
That's where you always hear about it. You know, whenever we go out to Egmont and then, you know, you anchor your boat
Yeah.
up away from the rocks, there's that section of
Little stretch. Right.
dark, deep water where you can't see anything until you get close to the
Close
rocks.
Yeah.
And that's every time we go snorkel over there. That's all I think about on the way over. I'm like, oh, we're at Egmont. Oh my
Yeah.
God, we're at Egmont. Go, man, get
Yeah.
to the rocks.
Or you're following the tide around the big rock area.
Oh,
And like you come around
man.
the corner and
Yeah.
you
That's
see
all I can
something
think
kind of
of.
out
Yeah,
in the
you're
corner.
like,
You're like, stop.
Oh, especially that one area over there where the 90-foot hole is. And
That's
it
one,
dro-
it's
it-
not
it-
far
it
off
drops.
from where the ruins are.
Right.
So-
well, yeah. I mean, literally the 90-foot hole drops clean right off the beach.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's where everybody
Yeah.
catches all the monsters, all
Yeah,
the big fish are out
tarpon
there,
and everything
yeah.
else. When you got to figure those big hammerhead are out there, especially right now
Mm-hmm.
with the tarpon in the passes now and up along Egmont.
I've
Man.
heard of people hooking nice tiger sharks out there too. So
Oh yeah,
that's scary to me.
Yeah.
Those things
Wow.
are monsters.
now I'll tell you, tiger sharks are nothing to play with. I mean, you know, hammerheads are scary,
Mm-hmm.
and hammerheads are curious, and they'll come up to you. Tiger sharks, they just want to eat you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they want to do is eat. They don't care what they're eating. They just want to eat.
Yeah, I'm not about all that. That's why I don't know. I kind of want to go spear diving one day, but I don't know.
No,
I'm
thank
a
you.
sissy, I guess.
No, I've seen some of those videos of that.
The spearfishing guys always laugh at us for this kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about
Well,
it.
we used to go over to the Bahamas because living on the East Coast, it was just a quick ride over.
Yeah.
And we were fishing. We were using sling spears and snorkels, and going up around this big island. This island had this. It's almost like a rock cave that you can go into, and it drops real deep inside there, just the way that the tide flows through it. And we used to go swim up in there. I mean, literally, you're about dragging your belly going in, and then you get into this hole, and it's like 20 feet, 30 feet deep inside. And we used to go in there and catch and spear hogfish over there. Well, we had a stringer full of hogfish, and we're going, swimming back to the boat, and my buddy started swimming backwards, and I'm like, "Where do you go?" And I turn around, and there's a reef shark
Pulling on the
going the
stringer.
other direction and dragging him backwards. and he's like, just, I'm like,
let the stringer
let it go.
buddy. You're not
what are
going to
you
win
looking
that
at me
battle.
for? So yeah, he ended up having to untie the stringer and let it go. But
That's such a trip.
yeah,
Hey, speaking of the Bahamas, I was thinking about this the other day. Is there a thing every year where a bunch of people get together and make a crossing over to the Bahamas from Florida? Isn't there like something they do every year? Something like a bunch of boats go.
well,
I thought I remembered hearing something about
there
that.
there is, and a lot of it is usually private organizations doing it. Marine Max usually do them. They call them rendezvous getaways. And what they do is they put a mailing to all of their customer base, and they'll hire a captain, and the captain will take them over, and it's just this big flotilla that goes over. I used to work for Marine Max and headed up the technician side of it, and they're fun. They're real fun to do, but generally it's private organizations or. What's getting popular nowadays is people getting online with forums and stuff like that and putting their own rendezvous together.
Well, the reason I asked is because Max has that sailboat.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be a pretty cool trip. We could all, 4 of us go cruise over there or something. But I don't know, with it being an older boat and Max isn't exactly a captain, it'd be cool to go over with, with a bunch of people or something, safety numbers, that whole thing.
Well, I know they have the ferry that goes over that you can put your kayaks on and everything.
Yeah,
you jump
you can do
on
those.
and it takes you right there.
Yeah, it takes you to Bimini.
I wonder how much that costs.
It's really not that expensive.
Tom
it really
and them
isn't.
did it for the extreme kayaking.
Yep. It's really not that
tournament one
expensive.
time.
And it doesn't, again, it takes a couple hours to get over there.
You got a kayak, don't you?
Used to. I got rid of it.
I think we could find one.
We could find one. That'd be a cool trip.
Yeah.
Well, Ty's always told me I could use any one of his kayaks. He's got a couple.
I bet you could pay somebody to mothership you over to some of those islands and then do the bonefish thing. I was just thinking, man, you got a place to stay in the sailboat. You could go over there pretty cheap, And
if we want to go do bonefish in a kayak, we can take an Isla Marauder run. I've got a good spot down there for bonefish. My dad and I used to go down there all the time and
be cool.
And bonefish.
Just stay in the sailboat. That's all I'm saying. The adventure part of it,
Well, you know how we roll, man. A tarp.
Yeah. Roll up like a burrito on the beach, see in the morning.
Exactly. As long as you got a tarp,
yeah,
you're good to go.
I thought that'd be a cool trip. We're gonna start doing those things, and we're talking about doing the Tarpon trip this weekend, hopefully.
Hopefully,
not this weekend, but
the following weekend. We're gonna try and see if we can get. It depends on Captain James Lowe's charter situation, and if he doesn't have anything going on next weekend, we're gonna try and roll up.
Where's he out of?
He's here. He's local.
He's local?
Yeah, it's Team Central Marine, and he's got I think he's got the 24 Skeeter, and so we'll get out. Hopefully he'll be free. We can get out and go do that. I'm gonna try and line up a buddy of mine for a camera boat, so we can get some real good footage.
If that doesn't work out, we'll probably go out and do some.
We'll go somewhere.
We'll take the sea mule out and do some filming of that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, we're gonna do some fishing.
Yeah,
it felt good to
and
get
you know
out
what,
yesterday.
Ronnie and them they've been every weekend fishing, so maybe we can if the weather's nice, maybe we just steal the Intrepid and go out and go do something there too.
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
so
I'm down with that.
Whatever we gotta do.
We do our own tarpon stuff.
It's nice to be able to come in here and talk about catching some fish. I brought home a flounder. I caught mostly small fish.
Yeah,
but it felt good, man. It felt good to get out.
See, this hurts. This actually hurts to talk about fish because I haven't fished since November. So
you got to make time.
I'm jonesing.
Hey, you could have actually.
I told my wife
you could have thrown Victoria in the boat and been like,
Yeah,
watch a movie.
That'd have been real good. Kid stays home from school because she's sick, and what's Daddy doing? He's got her strapped to a kayak. Yeah,
you didn't have to go in a kayak. You could have took the boat out.
Father of the Year award.
What? Fresh air.
Fresh air is good for her
sun
sinuses.
is nature's
Fresh air and
bleach.
salt water.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's right. Vitamin D.
Tell anybody.
Yeah.
Sun's out, guns out. You could have got a tan. You're looking a little white.
I am. I'm looking a little pale.
Those legs. Good Lord.
Yeah, they're getting there.
We got to do something about that.
Yeah, even if we just got on the boat and went and sat on some structure and just threw some bait out.
Dude, there's tarpon everywhere.
The tarpon are everywhere, and then
you got to go early though. You have to be out there before the heat. And I saw everybody searching for them later in the day.
No, you got to be out there early.
You got to be.
Where they
the
go
10 mark.
during the heat of the day? What do they do? Go sit in the bottom?
Yeah, they
you
go
ever
deep.
go at night for them?
Never gone at night.
No, I see guys out there all the time getting the past crabs and then hitting the bridges and stuff.
We were catching them at night off the dock over by the old house.
Yeah. That was actually funny, man. That you were falling asleep. You're just sitting out there. All of a sudden, you're suddenly awake.
Take all your line. Go grab another rod.
No, that night I didn't lose any line that night.
No,
we popped the.
I think I lost line on one. I think I lost.
Did you?
On one, yeah. Yeah.
That night?
Yeah, that night.
Oh, well, it happens.
I
sometimes.
remember-
I try
remember
not
it.
to, man. I hate that. I hate the thought of
Yeah.
300 yards of line
Yeah.
out in the
Yeah.
out in the world. Just messing everything up. I
Yeah.
try my best not to let that happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, probably 2 years ago, I was with my buddy Rob, and we're out there and we're going, and we were in the flats boat, and he just wasn't used to the boat, and I jumped this big tarpon. He was definitely over 100 pounds, and I got my Shimano Stratic, and that thing's just ripping line out, right? And I turn around, and all I see is him on the front of the boat going. Like he just didn't know what to do. He didn't know to start the motor or let the anchor go or whatever. And I've always got the anchor ball ready to go. So you just untie it and pitch it. And you
just
come
go.
back for it later, you know. And before I could even blink, all you heard was
Dang.
every ounce of line that I just spooled the
Of course
day
you did.
before,
Of course.
Yep.
and it was gone.
Oh,
Okay.
that same thing happened to me and Hance. Remember that?
Yeah.
We got out there, got out to this one spot, and we're getting set up, and we just went ahead and threw a line out. I think we might even had 2 lines out. And I go back to the kayak to go get a few more things, and we weren't even really set up, and we didn't think it would happen so fast. I hear Hance hollering, Jay, your pole. I'm like, grab it. So he grabs it. He's holding on to it, and I come running up. He's like, here you go. I'm like, cool. I'm like, he's like, man, it hasn't stopped yet. It's just kept going. I'm like, cool. All right, I need a light. I got to know how much.
Yeah.
All gone.
I was like, oh,
It literally, I was
no.
holding on to it, and I was waiting for some kind of break.
It was so dark, I
just
couldn't
something
see anything.
something
Yeah.
to happen, so
Yeah.
that I could get a bearing on what
Yeah.
was going on. And I'm just, Jay.
Yeah,
Jay.
we still don't know what it was. It was either a shark or a tarpon. 'cause
Whatever it
a
was,
bust.
it didn't stop.
It was an absolute bust.
It was going.
Yeah,
It was going.
It was more than likely a big tarpon. A shark usually make that real big burst and then kind of
Yeah.
slows down a little bit. And tarpon are just notorious for
This thing just kept going.
go.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
go.
it's amazing that when you fish for species so long that you can literally never see it, but be able to tell
Yeah,
just
tell.
by the way the twitch of the rod or the way it runs and stuff like that exactly what it is. So it's funny because when we were filming for the Intrepid TV show last year, we got all these film crews on the boat, and we're sitting there and that pole is just bouncing and it's shaking, and we're looking at no kingfish, it's an amberjack. And sure enough, you bring it in. There's an amberjack,
Right.
and then you're sitting there and you're going. No, feels like a shark. Sure enough, it was a shark.
Yeah.
And they're just looking like, how do you know? You can't see it.
It's the same thing inshore. Like
Yeah.
whenever you catch a flounder, it's like dragging a full
plastic
bag through the
Yeah.
water or
Yeah.
something. And then the reds shake their head a lot, and then the catfish have their little thing they do.
Yeah.
You always know a ladyfish because it's jumping out of the water on you, throwing your hook in your face.
man.
every 5
Poor man's
seconds.
Tarpon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll make a boring day okay. Anyway.
They're at least fun to catch.
Well, we're happy to see them because we use them for bait all the time.
Yeah.
I use them to catch it. That cut bait.
That
works.
cut bait works on everything.
Doesn't matter what time of year usually either. It just you throw out some.
Yeah.
You got to weed through the catfish. You know
Right.
you got a healthy area when you got 10 million catfish
Yeah.
there, but
I have seen online a lot of people catching the cobia now.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Ty was just killing it not too long ago with those.
With those,
And, yeah, apparently they never left. It's just a bunch of them out there.
I've never caught one of those.
Yeah, I never go
Cobia
offshore
are
enough
great.
to get
Yeah.
up.
I hear
you
they're
don't have to
delicious.
really go offshore. I mean,
Oh, well, we catch them in the past sometimes.
you can
Yeah.
catch them in the past.
Yeah.
I was in Blind Pass under the bridge all the way up inside, and we caught a small cobia. Wasn't legal, but we were able to.
Still, they were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing like Pass a Grill or Bunsies. You'll catch some smaller ones. You almost think they're a Remora or something when you're first pulling them up
Yeah,
because
for
of
sure.
coloring. And then you get them.
Yeah, that was. I ever tell you the Remora story? Fishing with Kevin and Tom on Kevin's boat, and Tom's pulling up this Remora, right? And he's trying to keep it away from the boat, and that thing comes and sucks right up underneath the boat.
And that's it.
He puts the line in the thing and cranks it real tight, just lets it sit there.
Yeah.
We're fishing. About 45 minutes later, it popped off. Tom's
Yeah, they're actually kind of fun. Actually, we've caught them before, and we end up the one guy that's got the shirt off, and we roll it up in there, and we'd suction cup it right to their back.
Oh, no. That would be me because I'm never wearing a shirt.
Yeah, we always suction cup them to the back.
That's hilarious.
So
How bad does that hurt?
Don't hurt.
Leave a big old hickey dough.
It doesn't-
You really want to mess him up? Put it on his
Put it
neck
on
and
his
send
neck,
him
I was
home,
going to
right?
say,
Yeah.
all the way across.
Come
life
home.
would be bad.
What were you doing?
It was Remora.
I thought you were fishing.
I got hit in the neck with the biggest
I thought
frisbee.
you were fishing.
That's hilarious. A Remora, yeah. Get out of here. She's kicking your butt on the way out.
Her name was
I got
what?
you Remora. Why don't you go spend the night with the Remora?
Why don't you go pay Remora for the hickey on your neck?
Too funny.
Maybe she'll pay your bills.
All right. Well, I guess
Great.
we'll go ahead and close this out. We're almost at a half
Yeah.
hour here, and we got this kingfish tournament thing going on out here. So, real quick, Hance, you're a local artist. What is the best way to follow you and see your work?
You can follow me at Hance Clay Artist on Facebook or just Hance Clay on Instagram.
Awesome. Paul is with me on FishPod Network. You can go to fishpodnetwork.com and check out all of our stuff. And I'm going to be getting these podcasts rolling again here, folks. We're going to get more consistent with these. There was just so much going on with FishPod TV.
It was,
Just-
man.
Boy, it was a lot. But we're over the top of the hill now. We're on the down, so we'll be able to get these
And we got
knocked
the
out
trailer.
again. Got the trailer
got
going
the trailer
now.
going and everything else. But we're at the end of tournament season here, so we'll be able to focus a little bit more on getting everything else done
And improving the content and more content. And we'll be filming a bunch of stuff coming up. So look out for that. FishPodNetwork.com, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you.
All right, well, that's the podcast. Thanks, everybody, for watching. FishPod Network podcast is back. We're going to get this going again, like I said. A lot of improvements being made around here. A lot of different things we're changing up. So look out for all that stuff. Went out fishing the other day, and I slayed it. Poor Hance didn't catch a thing, and I got a couple. There's a picture or two on Facebook of the redfish I caught the other day. We're out in the kayak. I had a hard time in the morning. Usually you think the morning's the time to catch them. I didn't catch them until midday or so. It was way later in the day. But they were nice. 30-inch redfish there. It was a lot of fun. We got some cool videos coming up here soon, too. We're putting together some short films of all of our adventures out in the world there fishing. So look out for that stuff soon, too. Check out everything on fishpodnetwork.com. You can see the podcast, the live streams, the tournament that's coming up, the Downtown Showdown, KDW, I think that's it anyways. You can see all the information for that on the website, fishpodnetwork.com. Best way to watch the tournament is on the tournament page. You can see the leaderboard and the live stream all in one, so make sure you check that out. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Make sure you stay tuned, and if you could, give us a like and a share or whatever. We appreciate it. It all helps. And like I said, too, you can get this audio form. You can drag my voice around with you on Google Play, Stitcher, and iTunes. So make sure you check that out. And again, if you could give us a subscribe and a review, it'd be great. So we'll see you in the next one, everybody. Thanks a lot for hanging in there.